Hey guys, my tag is Christmas is cancelled, and I've been grinding small dots recently, both for this video and games like Valorant. This is the best run I've gotten so far, a 1350 which is ranked 24 on the leaderboards. In this video, I will be talking about something that I think is very important when it comes to improvement in general, but becomes most apparent when people are trying to get better at one wall 6 targets small. Now, I already made a video on one wall 6 targets DE, where I go over click scenarios in general, but here's a quick recap. When going from target to target, you should focus on having the line between targets be as smooth as possible. Eliminating the shakiness will make your aim more accurate and faster all in one go, so it should be a very big priority in terms of improving your mouse control. When playing click scenarios, you should be keeping track of which dots you are going to go for next. Remember those dot to dot drawing things you did as a kid? You get what I'm trying to say? Here's a hint. Have your path planned out multiple dots ahead, don't ever be lost as to which target you're going to hit next. And lastly, when trying to improve at one scenario, it's more useful to play a group of scenarios that improve at one specific aspect of the main scenarios. So for example, play Pokeball scenarios to improve at smoothness, play wide wall to work on longer angles, and play extra small to work on accuracy. Now that we got that out of the way, what's the very important thing I mentioned in the beginning of the video? I want to talk today about plateaus. Sometimes when you're playing Kovacs, you just can't break from average. You can go weeks without setting a high score, and if you do, you just barely beat it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. How do you start getting back to shattering scores again? Most people recommend taking a break or maybe just stop playing the scenarios you were playing. The reason for it is that when you come back with a fresh mind, you'll start improving again. But why does a fresh mind help you so much? And is there a way you can get the benefit of a fresh mind every time you play? The answer is yes, once you realize why plateaus happen. When you're plateauing, it basically means that you're getting the same result over and over again. And getting the same result over and over again isn't necessarily a bad thing. We all want to be consistently great, right? But when you're trying to get better and end up getting the same result over and over again, what's happening? It means you're doing the same thing over and over again. And for those of you looking to get better, what's the definition of madness? When you look at the VOD review or advice channel in the Sparky Discord and people ask about improving their score in one wall 6 target small, the same thing always happens. They post a run where they have a really high accuracy, for example they are 109 out of 112, and ask how to get better. I ask them how many of the runs end up with that accuracy and they say all of them. If you want to be able to hit more targets, don't you think that you should shoot more times? People get really attached to their scores and are too afraid to miss, so it leads them to stop improving once they get to a comfortable level, but you got to look at it like this. The same way I've recommended playing harder scenarios to get better, you should also consider the amount of times you shoot into the difficulty of the scenario. For most of us, only having to shoot 50 times would make one wall 6 target small a very easy scenario, but shooting 170 times would make it the hardest scenario in Kovacs. If you shoot 112 times and hit 109 targets, why even play at that speed anymore? You can play for 2 weeks and increase your average to 110, but is that slow of progress really worth your time? What you need to do is increase the difficulty of the scenario and shoot more times. Start shooting 120 times for example. You might not be able to hit 109 targets at that speed, but the potential of improvement is much greater. And if you have trouble breaking out of your speed, do I have the thing for you? That's right, a metronome. I don't think you should have a metronome on all the time, but it's useful for doing a couple runs at the speed that you want to click at, then when you turn it off, you'll keep shooting at that speed. So in conclusion, when you're plateauing, you need to start implementing deliberate practice for deliberate improvement. For clicking, you need to set goals for how many times you shoot. And once you start doing deliberate practice for everything, you'll never plateau. And that's all I have for you in this video. If you found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and follow my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/christmasiscancelled. I have a couple ideas on what I want to do for my next video, but I'm not really sure yet, so please leave a comment on what you think you need help with, and it might just be the video I make next week.